What's going on, guys? Super Insane 18 here, and today I am bringing you a deck profile for a deck that I never thought I was actually going to bring you guys, and that is going to be Unchained. Now, I would be crazy to not talk about this deck after its most recent performance, not only in the regional scene, but also on a YCS level, and boy am I glad that I am doing this, because after picking this up, I think that this is the deck that I will be using moving forward for the format, so let's go ahead and jump on it. And really quick before we get into it, I am not going to be showing you any combos during this video, because I do plan on making a fully dedicated combo video tutorial, so make sure you stay tuned for that later this week, but let's go ahead and show you guys the build. We have our 3 copies of Unchained Twins Aruha. This is just the best one because you are able to special summon it from your hand by destroying a card you control, which means that you don't have to use your normal summon in order to start your combo, which is really, really good. So this is definitely one of the most important cards in the deck. And then we have the 1 copy of Unchained Twins Rakia, or Rakia, however you want to pronounce that. Pretty much the same as Aruha, but you have to normal summon it, and then you can destroy a card that you control. But don't forget that they also both have the effects of when they are destroyed, you get to summon an Unchained monster from your deck, which is pretty much just the theme of this deck, destroying your own cards, summoning cards from deck. So pretty much every single card in your deck is an extender, which is why the consistency level of this deck is as high as it is. We have the 1 copy of Unchained Twins Sarama. This is really good because you are able to reset your Unchained cards from your grave and then pop a card as well. And that just lets you kind of combo, which you guys will see in the combo tutorial. You're going to be summoning this, resetting one of your traps, popping probably the Aruha, getting another special summon, and that just kind of lets you link climb really easily. Then for the new stuff that we got in Duelist Nexus, we have the 3 copies of Unchained Soul of Shavara. This is one of the heart and soul pieces of the deck because this is what really allows you to set those traps from your deck. Anytime this is sent to the graveyard, you can go ahead and set a trap card, and then obviously you can also use its effect to destroy a card and summon itself, but the more important effect is the effect to set a card. We have the 1 copy of Shyama. This is able to reborn itself from the graveyard by destroying a card that you control, which of course is just another additional extender. Not only does it summon itself, but you'll get a summon off of whatever is destroyed as well. We have 1 copy of the Abominable Unchained Soul and 1 copy of the Unchained Soul of Disaster. These aren't 100% necessary, but they do offer a lot of good utility for the deck, so I definitely think that they are willing, or rather worth playing at 1. And that is going to be it for the actual Unchained monsters. Next we have the best normal summon in the deck, and that is going to be Tour Guide from the Underworld. Now this card is incredible because using it you are going to be able to summon out your Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and the new Link monster that we got in Duelist Nexus, the Yama, only requires 2 Fiends, and on summon will search. So by using Tour Guide in tandem with Rhino Warrior, you're able to do a really cool combo where you link into the Yama. You'll go Yama Chainlink 1, Rhino Warrior Chainlink 2. Rhino Warrior will send the Red Dog from your deck to the graveyard, Yama will add the Aruha, and then in a new chain, the Red Dog will be able to set one of your traps, which Aruha can then pop to summon itself, and when the traps are destroyed, they summon a monster from your deck. So off of the 1 Tour Guide, you just got a Link 2 plus 2 more monsters. Both of those monsters will be able to go into a ridiculous combo as well, because you're going to be summoning out the Sarama, which is of course going to be able to pop the Aruha and reset your trap, and then Aruha is going to be able to summon more monsters, and you guys see where this is going, so you definitely need to play this engine. Then we have our 1 copy of DDD Vice King Requiem. This is really cool as well. It is technically 1.5 card combo because you need a card to destroy, but by playing the DDD engine, we are able to activate the Dark Contract to search this. This will pop the Dark Contract to summon itself. This will then be able to overlay into the rank 10 Deus Machine X, or whatever that's called, which will then gain the effect thanks to Requiem to pop a card. So now we're able to pop a card on our field, and that will get the ball rolling as well, which it is also a Fiend, meaning that we'll be able to link it into the Yama. Then we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom. This is going to finish up the monster count, just the most generic hand trap. I want to play different hand traps, but unfortunately we just don't really have the room. So let's move on to the spells. We have our 3 copies of Abomination's Prison. Not only is this just a Rhoda for any Unchained card, but if it's destroyed, you can summon a monster from your deck as well. So you can do some really cool things with that. We have 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent and 1 copy of Triple Tactics Thrust. Now, Thrust is really cool in this particular deck because even if you're forced to set a card, you can set the Abomination's Prison or you can set any of the Unchained traps, and as long as you have a way to destroy them, you're able to then continue with your combo by summoning monsters from the deck off of their effects when they're destroyed. And then we have our 3 copies of Book of Moon. I still think, or actually, oh no, we're only playing 2 copies, my bad. Yeah, we have our 2 copies of Book of Moon. I just think that this card is a mandatory card this format. Yeah, I want to play 3, obviously, that's why I just blurted it out, but again, it's just one of those things that we don't have the room for, so Book of Moon, just one of the best spells this format. We have our 3 copies of the Dark Contract with the Gate. This is again a 1.5 card combo, being able to just get you the DDD King Requiem, which will be able to pop your cards on your field and summon monsters, so really, really strong. The 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity, this is just in the name of consistency. The deck is already hyper consistent, but you might as well play as many consistency pieces as you can. And that's going to be it for the spells. Onto the traps, we have our 2 copies of Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. A lot of people play 3 and 3, a lot of people play 2 and 3. I think 2 is correct. You don't really want to brick on too many traps, so I think that this is a really good ratio. We have 3 copies of Escape of the Unchained. This is obviously able to pop cards as well as just special summon monsters as well. I forgot to mention that the Abominable is a monster reborn, which you guys will see in the combo tutorial video. But that's going to be it for the Unchained traps. Finishing up the deck, we have our 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just because we need to add some kind of ability to play going second. So yeah, that is the main deck at 40 cards. Let's show you guys the extra. And of course, before getting into the extra deck, don't forget that the Fusion Summer Fun double-sided Metal Field Center is still available for order on InsaneTCG.com. You guys can make sure you get yours before they run out because it is a limited run of just 100. Kicking off the extra deck, we have the new Heart and Soul, which is going to be the Unchained Soul Lord of Yama. Not only does this card allow you to add any of your Unchained monsters on summon, but if it's in the graveyard and a card is destroyed, you can go ahead and banish it to resummon one of your Unchains, and that comes up quite a bit in the combos as well. Plus, you can use it on your opponent's turn whenever one is destroyed, and that can do something like reborn your Unchained Soul of Rage, which allows you to link with their monsters, so you definitely don't want to play this at less than 3. And then we have the 2 copies of the Soul of Rage. This is something that I've considered playing at 3, but again, we just don't really have the room, and you really don't need more than 3 because there are multiple ways of resummoning it. The Lord Yama, the Abominable Chamber, so 2 is definitely more than enough. We have the 2 copies of the Unchained Soul of Anguish, and then the 1 copy of the Unchained Abomination, and that's going to do it for the Unchained Link monsters. The rest are just utility for the deck. So we have the Muckracker from the Underworld. This is part of the combo. You are actually able to use it and reborn your Yama, which you can then link away with the Unchained Soul of Rage into a card that we'll get to in a minute. We have our 1 copy of Unicorn Nightmare. Nightmare Unicorn. This is what we are going to be making with the Unchained Soul of Rage more often than not. By doing this, we'll be able to clear 2 cards from our opponent, whichever one we link away into it, and then whatever card we spin with it. And then we have the Nightmare Griffin. This is part of the combo. What you do is you make the Muckracker, and you reborn the Yama, and then you use Yama and Unchained Soul of Rage to go into the Nightmare Griffin. Nightmare Griffin will be co-linked to the Muckracker, which means you can use its effect to reset one of your Unchained traps and draw a card, and if you happen to have access to the Abominable Chamber, that's obviously going to be able to reborn the Soul of Rage, and as long as you do it to a zone that the Nightmare Griffin points to, you can link away with your opponent's cards, so it's kind of like skill draining them and then still just linking away with their cards, which is absolutely nuts. Then we've got a few XYZs. We have the 3 DDDs. We have the Stone King Darius, the Wave High King Caesar, and the Machine X. I'm going to put that in post. I don't actually have one yet. I'm going to pick one up actually immediately after I finish this video. A friend of mine told me that he has it. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and grab that. But this is mostly to be able to go into our Zeus, and that is going to be the extra deck. And there you guys have it. That is going to be my Unchained deck profile for the September 2023 format. I think this deck is probably the safest deck moving forward. Not only has it been performing incredibly well at a competitive level, but since it's relatively new, it is likely to remain untouched on the ban list, although we can't say that for sure. We saw other decks get murdered before they had a chance to live, so just keep your hopes out that this deck will not get hit because it is an insane deck, and I can't wait to show you guys those combos. So if you liked it, you know the deal. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, share with your friends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.